Introducing next generation Galaxy Watch Active. Most watches just capture data, but we've devised a watch that doesn't just collect information, it's smart enough to interpret it. We developed sophisticated motion sensors that scrutinize your movements. So, like a personal trainer, Watch advises you how to improve your performance and reach your goals. Watch ingeniously detects when you're active and when you're not. We designed it to keep track of your stress levels, so you can reset whenever you need to. And it's configured to combine seamlessly with the Samsung Health app, so you can manage your fitness, look after your well-being, and even monitor the REM quality of your sleep. In a truly revolutionary move, we've introduced wireless power share, which will charge your watch right from the Galaxy S10. All you have to do is choose a strap, pick a face, and let Watch Active go to work. Next generation Galaxy Watch Active, the smartwatch that gives you smart advice.
This is the Fossil Gen 5. It's a top-of-the-line, easy-to-use, stylish smartwatch that many consider to be the best smartwatch on the market. Or, at least it was when they originally released it in 2019. So, how is it compared today? Is it worth buying? Or should you opt for a newer model? And after you've bought it, what can you expect? Well, on paper, there's a lot of things to love about the smartwatch. Mostly up-to-date specs like water resistance, display quality, Google Pay, and good overall performance. But it's not all good news with this smartwatch. We'll get to that in a second. The first thing I've got to point out is the design and build quality. I love the traditional analog watch style with the 44mm circular display. It can be worn with multiple outfits in multiple situations. It comes in a variety of colors and bands to choose from, and you can always get a third-party band off Amazon if you want something they don't offer. The display isn't completely seamless, and there is a bit of a dent which does take away a bit from the aesthetic and can be a bit of a dust trap. But the overall build quality and aesthetics are great. And that's really what sets this smartwatch apart from the competitors for me. If you're interested in updated pricing on the Fossil Gen 5, as well as any other products we mention, be sure to check out the link in the description, and subscribe if you like short, informative tech videos. Outside of the design and build quality, a lot of things about this smartwatch are pretty much in line with similarly priced, more up-to-date competition, in my opinion. A lot of what you might expect from a quality smartwatch. The display is solid. The text is easy to read, colors seem accurate and vibrant. Being able to see the display even in bright sunlight won't be a problem. It comes with a wide variety of different faces available. I like this one. Fitness tracking and water resistance are great. It's completely waterproof, so you can take it for a swim, and there are plenty of preset fitness tracking modes for nearly every athletic activity you can think of. There is built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, as well as 8 gigs of built-in storage, which means you can download music and apps directly to the Fossil Gen 5. And you can pair your headphones directly to your watch, so you can listen to music while you run without needing your phone. With the Snapdragon 3100 processor and 1GB of RAM, the watch is fast and reactive without any noticeable delays when performing commands. There are 3 buttons on the side. The middle button will bring up apps, and the top button and bottom button can be customized, with either a single tap or a double tap. Overall, just an easy to use device. Battery life on the watch is, well, questionable. Assuming relatively heavy use, there's a chance it won't even last the whole day when you use it on its standard daily mode. Fossil tried to handle this by adding in different battery settings where you'll have more limited apps, and they do extend the battery life depending on the settings you choose. The battery life is below average for the price point, so it's not all good news. So is it still worth the buy? Yes, it probably is, depending on what you're looking for. It's a quality smartwatch. You get a stylish, easy-to-use, high-performing smartwatch even by today's standards. A lot of key features that you're looking for on a smartwatch are in this. Most importantly, they won't become outdated anytime soon. So at its reduced price point since release, it's a solid option. If you're interested in something similar, but more interested in fitness than style, the Samsung Galaxy Active 2 might be a better choice at a very similar price point. If you're wanting to spend more and want something newer, the Galaxy 3 watch is a better smartwatch in my opinion, but it also costs an extra $100 or more. That's my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Fossil Gen 5. Do you think it's still worth buying? Subscribe if you're new to the channel and want more short, informative tech videos. Like the video if you find it helpful. Till next time.
Hey guys, Mark here, and this is the Galaxy Watch 3, the newest smartwatch from Samsung. Now, I've been a long-time user of smartwatches, and I've had quite a few of them in the past, including Samsung's own Gear S3 Frontier that I reviewed almost 3 years ago, I think. This Galaxy Watch 3 has some shiny new features, which we'll get into in just a minute, but first I want to talk about the design of this thing, which is mostly unchanged, and that's a good thing. Smartwatches aren't always designed to feel like a traditional watch. In fact, some watches, like my Apple Watch Series 5, feel much more like a tiny smartphone than a wristwatch with some smart features. And for some people, that's okay. But there's no denying that the Galaxy Watch 3 looks and feels like it's trying to blend in with the world of timepieces, and I love that. It's got a rounded 360 by 360 AMOLED display surrounded by a beautiful rotating bezel with tactile clicks for easy menu navigation. The buttons are now rounded, and the top one has some classy Galaxy Watch branding on it. The band is now made from genuine leather, which is a step up from the ugly silicone band that I used to have on the Gear S3, but it does feel relatively cheap overall. Luckily, you can easily swap it out for a standard 20 or 22mm watch band, depending on what size watch you end up getting. Mine is the 45mm variant, and by golly, this thing is huge! I'm 6'3", so I've got pretty darn big hands and wrists, and this thing still looks like an absolute unit on my arm. It is a slight bit thinner and lighter than past models, but it is still a thick watch with a triple C. The Galaxy Watch 3 is IP68 certified water resistant up to 50 feet, which should please the swimmers out there, but you'll probably want to swap out that watch band for something made of nylon or silicone because leather doesn't fare well in water. You know what else doesn't fare well in water? Cardboard. Like the box that UPS dropped on my door this morning with my Note 20 Ultra and Note 20 inside, even though it's pouring rain outside and they didn't put a bag on it or anything. Now, luckily, the phones are fine because they are also IP68 rated, like the watch. Review on this guy coming soon, by the way, so subscribe if you haven't already to find out when that video drops. In everyday use, this watch has been great for me. It does all the things that you'd want a smartwatch to do very well. It's got very strong but quiet vibration motors for notifications coming through from your phone. The display gets plenty bright when outdoors and plenty dim when the lights go down, and battery life is decent as well. More on that later. Even the microphone and speaker on this watch is good. You shouldn't use it for recording a voiceover, of course, but for making voice memos or taking a phone call, it's ideal. As with all tech products, the watch does have some drawbacks though, and to talk about the first one, we first need to go to the spec sheet. This watch is running a dual-core 1.15 GHz Exynos processor, a single gigabyte of RAM, and only 8 GB of storage. Now, this is a watch, so it doesn't need a whole lot of processing power, and Samsung's proprietary software called Tizen is fairly light, so it shouldn't be a problem. But if you've been in the tech sphere for a while, you know that Exynos processors can be a little inconsistent, and that's been my experience here as well. For the most part, the overall performance of the watch has been good. It's snappy enough in the menus, and although it could do with some improvement, it's fine for a watch. Every now and again, though, the watch will slow down and freeze for a few seconds, and it can get a little annoying. But that's not the biggest problem I have with this watch. Let's compare the spec sheet of the Galaxy Watch 3 with the now 4-year-old S3 Frontier. Other than a little more RAM and 8 gigs of storage instead of 4, they really haven't changed much with regards to hardware. Unfortunately, that holds true with the software as well. Tizen feels more or less the same as it did when I had the Frontier over 2 years ago, and this might be some personal preference coming in here, but I think it's starting to look a little outdated. One other downside to this watch is the app support. Like I said, this is Samsung's proprietary operating system, so you're only going to get the apps that devs choose to develop for it, which isn't many. There's still no proper navigation apps to take advantage of the built-in GPS, and even something like Strava, which is a very popular cycling app, doesn't exist within the Galaxy Store. But even if this software experience is a little lacking, the Galaxy Watch 3 makes up for it with a great amount of personalization options. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of downloadable watch faces on the Galaxy Store, and a lot of them are free. Of course, there are paid ones too that cost $1 or so, and those tend to be a little more well-designed if you're willing to shell out just a few more bucks. I flip-flop between this classy analog one and this more information-rich digital one. The Galaxy Watch 3 debuted with a bunch of new health-related features, most likely to compete more in line with the Apple Watch. Blood oxygen level tracking as well as EKG monitoring are both new features that are coming to the watch, although neither of these are available in Canada just yet, so I wasn't able to test them out. Still, the Galaxy Watch 3 has many other health features like exercise tracking and fall detection that will automatically send out an SOS if it detects that you took a hard fall. Samsung also has had sleep tracking on their watches for a long time, as they so snidely pointed out during their keynote. I was pleasantly surprised at how well this worked and how little the battery drained overnight. I went to bed at 50% battery, and when I woke up, it had only lost around 4%, down to 46%. And that's a great segue to battery life, something that continues to impress me on Samsung's lineup of smartwatches. That could have something to do with the fact that the battery life on my Apple Watch Series 5, which I've been using for something like half a year now, is not great, but either way, the Galaxy Watch 3 keeps on chugging after nearly 2 full days with the always-on display mode turned on. You could obviously get more life out of it if you turn that mode off, but I usually charge my watch every night anyway, so there's no real need to. The charger that comes in the box is okay, but it does take a while to charge the watch, even though it only has a 340 milliamp hour battery, which I find kind of strange. So overall, the Galaxy Watch 3 is a decent smartwatch, but it is held back a bit by Samsung's lack of effort to continue to expand upon and develop Tizen OS. You can pick up the smaller version starting at $399 USD or the larger version that I have for $430. You can also get LTE versions of this watch too, but they're going to cost you a pretty penny. Those prices are competitive with the Apple Watch Series 5, but they are a fair bit more expensive than many of the Android Wear OS models on the market today, so shop around a bit more and do a bit more research before you pull that trigger. This is going to be my go-to watch for Android phones going forward, but I'm having a bit of trouble deciding whether or not this is going to be the watch to replace my Apple Watch Series 5 for use with my iPhones, because this does have iOS support after all. So if you want to see a full comparison video between those two watches, let me know in a comment down below. And if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to support my channel. And as always, have a great day.